Welcome back, everyone. Time to do another comparison this time around between the iPhone 12 mini and the iPhone 7. Now, the iPhone 7, I'm sure most of you know, came out in 2016, actually. Wow, time is just flying. This is a 2016-year-old flagship device, which is crazy. It's a 4-year-old phone. The iPhone 12 mini is the newer phone, I guess, of the iPhone 7. In a way, the 7 is actually the predecessor of this phone. Now, you can pick up an iPhone 7 for like less than $100. I'm sure probably even like $70, maybe like 110, somewhere in that price tag. The iPhone 12 mini costs $729 to pick up brand new, and there's quite a bit of difference when it comes down to both these price tags. Now, if you want to pick up either one of these for the cheapest prices, I'll find them on Amazon for the lowest ones I can and link them down in the description. You can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now, side by side, one thing that's very interesting is that the iPhone 12 mini pretty much is, a smaller phone in every dimension than the iPhone 7. And if I go ahead and kind of stack these two on top of each other, it's going to be kind of hard to see, but you can see there is a little bit of, I don't know what's the best way to describe this, but you can see that it does overlap a little bit. So the iPhone 7 for sure, I will tell you, man, with its 4.7-inch panel, it's really not a bad sized panel. It's not an ugly panel, but the biggest disadvantage with the specific iPhone 7 would probably come in the form of the bezels around the whole entire display. I mean, you can see, first of all, the software and performance, it could be better, but for sure, the bottom bezel and the top bezel definitely aren't the best things in the world, in my opinion, as you can see. I mean, you still have the home button, you still have the lightning port and everything, which is fine. But when you have something like the iPhone 12 mini that looks so much better, I mean, there's just like no competition. That is something that's very, very important to note. And the iPhone 12 mini with its 5.4-inch Super Retina XDR OLED panel, I mean, this is a really, really good panel at the end of the day. And I will tell you, really anything you're going to do with this phone, it's going to be perfectly fine, and it's going to set you up for so many years. I mean, just looking at this phone, how much better can they do, And for sure, when it comes down to the 12 mini, looks like the better phone for sure, and it has a better panel, and it's just overall a better phone for sure than the iPhone 7 in terms of the thinness and thickness between the two. You can see that I actually think the iPhone 7 is a little bit thinner than the 12 mini. It's very hard and it's very, very subtle, but if I had to say it, quite possibly the iPhone 12 mini is a little bit thicker than the iPhone 7. And on the back, you can see dual camera setup on the iPhone 12 mini, single camera setup on the iPhone 7, that standard aluminum build on the 7 with the glass back on the iPhone 12 mini, which feels really, really nice, and the 12 mini definitely feels more premium than the iPhone 7. Now, you do get IP certification on both phones, but it is better on the iPhone 12 mini. But on top of that, you're getting wireless charging, a glass back, and overall a better feeling and performing phone from the iPhone 12 mini than the iPhone 7. But the 7 still feels pretty good as well. When I feel them both in the hand, doesn't feel like it's a cheap phone. It actually still feels pretty good, which is a huge asset for it. So in terms of the outside, that pretty much covers it up. Now in terms of the software, they're both running iOS, so there's no differences there. But in terms of the longevity of both, the iPhone 12 mini is going to far outlast the iPhone 7 by many, many, many years. You can pick up the iPhone 7 now, and probably within a year or two, you're going to be outdated. Honestly, you're going to not have iOS support any longer. You're probably security updates, but not like a full OS version. With the iPhone 12 mini, you can pick up today, and I would probably estimate by the year 2025, it's going to be in the same situation that the iPhone 7 is in. So by that point, you're probably going to be okay. Like the iPhone 12 mini, like you're going to be supported for a very, very long time. So I wouldn't even be worried about it that much. So when it comes down to software, it's an easy one. The 12 mini definitely takes a W here. Now let's go into a speed comparison between both phones. The iPhone 7 has that Apple A10 Fusion chip inside of it with 2 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 12 mini has that Apple A14 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one is the faster phone between both of these. Okay, now that we're back, as you can see, all the apps are cleared out in the background. Let me go ahead and increase the brightness a little bit on the iPhone 7. So let's start loading these apps up. Let's do phone calls, 3, 2, 1. And definitely, I even think that app, the iPhone 12 mini, was faster there. Let's do app stores, 3, 2, 1. And you can see the 12 mini definitely was faster there. The iPhone 7 shortly behind. Scrolling through, it didn't even register my touch on the first time of these 7. You can see that there's about the same thing going on. There's not really a ginormous difference between the two, which is good, I guess, for iPhone 7 users. Now, as always, I have a lot of these apps that we can go and download or kind of, open. Let's do Facebook, 3, 2, 1. The 12 mini was like instant. And just to make sure, okay, I do have all the apps deleted because that was way too fast in the iPhone 12 mini. Let's do Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And you can see the 12 mini is just flying through. The iPhone 7 is definitely behind, which again is not a problem. It's an older phone, so we're expecting it to be slower. And I would be even more upset if the iPhone 12 mini was slower than the iPhone 7. I want the 12 mini to be faster, and it really does seem to be the case, and we do eventually get into it. Let's go and tap on the screen, and let's kind of get through the gameplay. And I think the gameplay and the graphics are going to be about the same. Actually, it did glitch up a little bit on the iPhone 7 there, which is weird, but the 12 mini definitely was faster there for sure. Let's go and do BOFA. 3, 2, 1. And it didn't even register on the iPhone 7, so this 7 is being really, really weird. So I'll go ahead and load that up in the background for the RAM management portion of the test. Let's do Dropbox. 3, 2, 1. And again, the 12 mini far faster. The iPhone 7 behind. Quizlet. 3, 2, 1. And the 12 mini again was the faster one. The iPhone 7 a little bit behind there as well. Let's do Netflix. 3, 2, 1. And you can see the 12 mini is faster. The iPhone 7 is a little bit behind there. Let's go and do Snake versus Blocks. 3, 2, 1. And you can see the 12 mini was faster. The iPhone 7 a little bit behind there. Getting into some gameplay. Let's see if there's a difference. And maybe there's a difference. Maybe there's not. They were going to be about the same. Let's do Thank You. 3, 2, 1. And as you can see, 12 mini was faster. iPhone 7 definitely far behind. And I don't want to make it sound like it's a crazy humongous difference, but there is a pretty big difference between the two for 100% of a fact. Let's do Fruit Ninja. 3, 2, 1. And it's kind of funny because I'm looking at the iPhone 7 screen and I'm looking at the 12 mini screen, and it kind of looks like that the 7 screen looks sharper than the 12 mini screen. Now that could be totally wrong, but from the angle that I'm viewing it, that's kind of what it seems to be. But again, the 12 mini is so much faster than the iPhone 7. That's just like it's not even funny how much faster it is. Twitter. 3, 2, 1. 12 mini again is faster. iPhone 7 definitely behind it. Facebook. 3, or I did Facebook. Paper IO 2. 3, 2, 1. Again, iPhone 12 mini is faster. iPhone 7 definitely behind it. And that really pretty much covers up all the apps that I wanted to test. For sure, when it comes down to it, the iPhone 12 mini is the far faster one for sure. I thought I had Real Racing 3. I guess I don't have it. But even getting into the RAM management, I mean, I'll definitely tell you, the iPhone 12 mini is probably going to do better. As you can see, the iPhone 7 already restarted. The 12 mini has been giving me issues in the RAM management portion, but so far, the last couple of days has been getting better, but still, it's not that good compared to all the other phones that have came out. And as you can see, the iPhone 7 has restarted every time. So definitely when it comes down to it, you're getting a much better performing phone in terms of speed, and better performing phone when it comes down to RAM management on the iPhone 12 mini than on the iPhone 7 for sure. So that really pretty much covers up the speed comparison. Let's go ahead on the cameras. Now, as stated before, the iPhone 12 mini has that dual camera setup, a 12 megapixel wide and 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor, where the iPhone 7 has that single 12 megapixel wide angle lens. Now, I've said this for quite a bit of time now, and for sure when it comes down to it, the iPhone 7, every time I compared it to any other device, I was always pretty surprised by how well this camera still kind of performs. I mean, it's not that great. You can do 4K videos with the back camera, but you can only do 1080p videos on the front camera, which does kind of suck a little bit. Like, I like having that 4K capability nowadays, and the iPhone 12 mini definitely will outshine the iPhone 7 camera when it comes down to it. And I think I've already done a camera comparison between these two. I don't know when that's dropping, but hopefully it drops sooner than later. But you guys will be able to see there that the iPhone 12 mini's camera quality is far better than the iPhone 7's, but the 7's camera still works, still functions, so it's still okay for the most part. But for pretty much every single situation you're ever going to look to in your life, the iPhone 12 mini's camera is going to be doing the far better job. I mean, it's going to be able to handle really everything you throw at it, but you also have that ultra-wide sensor, which in my opinion is a huge asset. Having at least a dual camera setup nowadays is going to future-proof yourself like crazy, and you have that additional lens, which is awesome, and it's still a really good lens, but you also have that better front-facing camera with 4K at 60. So that's another huge advantage for the iPhone 12 mini for sure. So when it comes down to that, I will definitely tell you the iPhone 12 mini for sure wins when it comes down to the camera quality. Now, ending it off with the battery comparison, the iPhone 12 mini, will definitely outlast the iPhone 7's in terms of battery life. I did find that the iPhone 7's battery life has been getting worse and worse with iOS 14, and from the battery test that I did, the iPhone 12 mini definitely won there. So hopefully that video will drop sooner than later. But to kind of sum up this video and to answer the question, should you pick up the iPhone 7 or should you keep your iPhone 7? Or should you get your iPhone 12 mini? What I'll tell you is that if you currently have an iPhone 7, I'll say, if you have the money, go for it. The 12 mini is a tremendous phone. You're getting a lot of, you're getting a lot of a phone from the iPhone 12 mini, but the iPhone 7 has a lot of capability too at the end of the day. I mean, this is a really, really good phone. It's good for the most part for the price tag and how old it is. But if I had to use this phone every day, I probably wouldn't be too happy about it. I mean, there's a lot of things within this phone that I'm not super fond of. I mean, the performance really isn't too great. The RAM management is horrible on the iPhone 7. The RAM management isn't even that good on the iPhone 12 mini, to be honest. But compared to both these phones, the 12 mini is so much better than the iPhone 7. On top of that, I mean, everything else about this phone, the battery life, the build quality, the camera quality, there's a lot of things between this phone that I'm not really too fond of. But if you don't want to go for the iPhone 12 mini, if you think this is too expensive, going from the iPhone 7 to the iPhone 10R or iPhone 11 is also a pretty big jump too. I mean, you're getting a crazy good phone with those values. And the 12 mini I think is a great phone. Like, this is a great phone, but the price tag just makes it a little weird. I do kind of wish it was around that, like $600 price tag like what the iPhone 11 is. For it being $729, it is kind of expensive, I'm not going to lie. So when it comes down to that, when you look at it like that, the iPhone 12 mini I think is a really good phone, and it's definitely better than the iPhone 7. But I'll probably tell you, if you have an iPhone 7, I would recommend keeping it, or if you can keep it for a couple more months until the 12 minis get cheaper in the used market, go for it. But if you'd rather just, if you're okay with it, getting a 10 or iPhone 11, I would highly recommend those two phones too, and those are cheaper brand new than the iPhone 12 mini. So that really pretty much covers it up for the most part. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count. So it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.